What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another episode of the Just Chillin podcast call-in show. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How to get my people? Just chilling in the chat before we went live. Shout out to Football Talk with Benny, Jaden, the champ, Viz Ed in here as well. Logan's Giant Zone, Duran Osman, Toast, Joseph Balby, John Cure, Jersey Life, Bobby Murphy, Juan, myself, Joel Yato, and FTCJ. How everybody doing? We just gonna get right into it. I mean, obviously today there was, well, actually this tweet was earlier today. I think the Ian Rappaport one about the Giants entertaining trading down. Personally, I mean, I feel like they've been entertaining trading down in every single one of the drafts they've been in. So this doesn't necessarily make me or convince me that they're actually going to do it. And then there was the press conference with Dave Gettleman and Kevin Abrams later in the day, which I was like, I got some information from it, but like with most Giants press conferences, nothing really new, but we'll see what you guys thought. So first person I'm bring on is, well, it was going to be Logan, but then he just ran off screen. So it's going to be Joe Yato. What up, Joe? How you doing?
Hey, Job, how you doing? I got a request for you tonight.
What's up?
If you could click down there and grab that guy by the name of Max Webster and have him jump on with me, I sure would appreciate it.
There you go, bro.
There we go. There's my guy back.
Shout out to both of y'all. Come on, Sunny DJ, Giants fans, C-Bands, Edward Chan, Evan Spitzberg, Toast. His birthday is Saturday. He's been waiting all year to chill with the fan. Well, if I stream on Friday, I'll give you an early birthday shout out, my man.
There you go. That's nice.
So go ahead. What are you guys talking then?
Oh, me and Max, we've been on Discord a little bit. They're just tearing it up, everything.
Our conversation started last night, though. It's fine. It's fine.
And it's going into tonight.
Oh, yeah. I got into a nice debate yesterday. I was told that Rashawn Slater at 11 is a reach, you know.
Oh.
By who?
Just somebody on YouTube.
Rashawn Slater at 11 is a reach.
Yes.
I haven't heard that take
because
yet.
I want to put him at guard, and you don't put tackles at guard.
Do you want to put him at guard, though?
I want him to compete at both, but ultimately, hopefully, end up at guard.
Okay. Even then, is he saying it's a reach because he's a guard?
He's saying it's a reach because there's better players on the board at 11 that'll have an immediate impact, and you don't know that Rashawn Slater is going to be a good NFL guard.
So he's assuming that there's going to be better players on the board, in his opinion.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, go ahead. Tell me about the debate.
Go ahead, Joel.
Well, me and Max, when we were back screen before your show, we were talking about first-round drafted wide receivers, and Max listed off a bunch. And about the only top wide receivers was DeAndre Hopkins in the first round. And then it was Des Bryant was in there. I consider him he was a top in his prime. I mean, if you wanted to add Amari Cooper, he was in there. I mean, Amari hasn't done anything with Dallas, but he was phenomenal with Oakland. So I don't know if it's a defensive scheme or what that's affecting him, but it looked like he quit a couple of times last year. And it really, I mean, when you look at the top wide receivers in the league today, they're not really very many in the first round. So it's like, guys, now, I know everyone's screaming, and they're saying that Waddle and Smith and Chase, they're all above average talent right now in the NFL. But yet we all also continue to say that just because they're great in college doesn't mean they're going to translate into the NFL. So when you're in the first round, it's almost like you got a 50-50 shot of even just getting a starter. So then if you want to go above starter to you got the average, good, great, and then fantastic. To find that fantastic wide receiver, I mean, Max went back to 2009, and it was DeAndre Hopkins and Megatron were the most fantastic wide receivers. I mean, two since 2009 that were drafted in the first round.
Wasn't Julio taken in the first round?
He was.
But, if you want to throw Julio in there, so it'd be like what, 1A, 1B, and then Julio? Because I'm sorry, but Megatron and DeAndre are better than Julio. But that's my opinion. But even if you're still talking that, guys, I mean, that's still only 3 since 2009.
Now to get
So,
to provide the argument of somebody that is first round wide receiver, which I guess I technically am, because if Slater isn't there, I would want to go wide receiver. To throw this out, I feel like the difference between those guys, the guys we're talking about for this year, and the other first round wide receivers, is that Julio, Megatron, and DeAndre, and these guys coming out now were all similar prospects in the sense that everybody knew they were going to be great wide receivers at the NFL level. Versus when you talk about guys like, say,
Corey
who were
Davis,
taking way too high, like Corey Davis, for example,
John
or
Ross.
literally
John
Ross, literally anybody else,
right.
they didn't have the similar draft profile.
You're right. But, you know, we're also talking about receivers. I mean, what's DeAndre? 6'1, 6'2?
Mhm.
Isn't he pretty good
I
size?
could bring him up right now.
Because Megatron was huge.
DeAndre, I mean, yeah, Megatron is huge. We all know that, yeah.
And Julio Jones is not really a small receiver.
Yo, Julio Jones is literally an alien. DeAndre is 6'1", 214.
But still, he's in that right range, 6'1", 6'4". That's the guy that you're looking for that can go up and get the 50-50 ball, which he's proven time and time again. But trying to find that talent. I mean, when we're looking at wide receivers in the league, I mean, if you look, Tyreek Hill, when was he picked? Like the 3rd round? You know, we're all saying that we don't want a tight end in the 1st round because the great ones are picked in the 3rd and 4th round. It seems that it's the wide receiver class is working the same way. And the skill positions, which are the defensive ends, the offensive linemen, you know, nobody wants a running back in the 1st round anymore when that used to be the pick. So, but then again, this is the first Giants draft that we've had in 5 years where I mean, people might complain, but nobody's going to go off on a tirade or a rant because we picked a lineman or we picked a wide receiver or we picked a linebacker.
or Gregory Rousseau.
Corner, you and your Gregory Rousseau. Hits, baby. I told you.
Hub and his Gregory Rousseau.
I don't know what Max is talking about, guys. Go check out the Mock Draft 3.0 promo video, and maybe you'll see.
So, Max, I've been talking pretty good here. You wanted to jump on together. I mean, fire away. You need your time too, boss.
Yeah, I mean, I was more entertained today with Kevin Abrams than anything else, man.
Yo,
I thought Dave Gettleman was funny.
I didn't get to see the whole press conference. I caught like 10 minutes of it. In the 10 minutes that I watched, the only thing I was thinking to myself is, why does Kevin Abrams look so uncomfortable? He looks like he did not want to be there at all.
Oh, at all, no. He, like, most stone-faced, always like a 10-second pause before he answers with like 1 or 2 answers.
Yeah, like the words are limited, man. He's like, I'm being paid by the word or something.
They're like, were you sure that you could pay these people this much in the start of the offseason? Yeah, we were sure.
Yo, the part I did catch was when they asked about, like, was he thinking about Daniel Jones's contract in the future, because they were saying he gave out so many big ones. 2 things that came to mind. I was like, of course he was. What kind of question is this? The media, New York media is being New York media. And the second one was like, he had the perfect response. He paused for 5 seconds, and then he was like, yeah, well, of course I was thinking about that while I was making the contract. And I'm just like, yo, he doesn't want to beat. You know what he reminded me of? He was Marshawn Lynch, but like a Giants front office person. He's there so he doesn't get a fine.
The old Belichick, huh?
Yeah. I also love the fact that at one point during the press conference, Dave Gettleman, for some reason, he had to clarify, because we know Gettleman has to clarify a lot of stuff. He was like, guys, Kevin's the one doing the negotiating. Like, he actually clarified that. So for all the Gettleman haters or people that doubt him when it comes to money, he was like, money, negotiations, numbers are Kevin Abrams. Like, he took a second to do that. And I was like, I think the media would know that, but I guess not.
Hell, they're just looking for something to come at him, hoping he'll say something so that they can have a headline tomorrow morning. That's their job. They can get fired if they pick the wrong guy in the newspaper.
Mhm.
The one thing I'm hoping, though, that might be true, hopefully, is if Rashawn Slater is not on the board, I am totally for trading back at this point. for multiple
what
reasons.
about that rumor that came out that the Giants are looking to trade back? 11's up for sale.
Yeah, for multiple reasons, right? And I'm not someone who's given up on Daniel Jones. If anything, I've been in his corner. What?
Miz, did the Knicks win? The game is over. When I tuned in the third quarter, they were down 7 in a row. Yo, I'm telling you, I told my friend last week, bro. I told him as soon as I saw Julius got his braids back in, I'm like, we're going on a 10-game win streak. We are now on a 7-game win streak. This is not a coincidence, people. But go ahead, Max, and check out my Knicks/Giants video. I think some of y'all will like it.
Yeah, no, I was just basically saying, look, if we trade back this year, I'd look to get some capital for next year, more so than anything. Mostly because if we put all this team on the field, and not that I think he won't, because I think he can be a great player, but if Daniel Jones goes out there this year and we're just an average 500 team because his level of play isn't high enough, but we're still a 500 team, we're not going to be anywhere to pick anybody next year.
Stop.
So if we have some capital, gives us you.
I'm gonna let you guys take it for a couple minutes.
You hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Daniel Jones is going to be a top 10 quarterback. Stop with all the shenanigans. New York Giants are going 12-5. I told you that. We're winning the division 6-0. You ain't got to worry about
Daniel. You can't say that. That's like saying Trevor Lawrence is going to be the next best quarterback.
Right now, dodging Scorpions, throwing the ball to Galladay already. Hasn't even been to New York City yet.
Oh, he's back in Jersey right now. He was working out at somebody's high school.
Well, he's done dodging Scorpions now, but you know what? He was out there for that week or two getting them boys ready, saying, let's go. All right, he's being a true leader. Somebody who wants to win football games. Somebody who wants to be the New York Giants quarterback. Somebody that knows what it means to be a Giants quarterback.
This just popped in my mind because I just want to see Joel's reaction. Joel, what if we go Trey Lance at 11?
Not going to happen.
Like Max Kellerman wants?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, there's no way people are actually considering this. But, of course, they blow me away.
We got a better chance of Pitts being there at 11 than we do with Trey Lance being it there. I mean,
I don't know. I think Trey Lance could be at 11.
No, because Atlanta's either going to take him or they're going to trade out and somebody's going to jump up to 4. There's rumors that the Eagles want to jump back into the top 10.
I'm telling you, I think that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be that one team that kind of just shocks everybody this year, and they're going to probably go Kwity Paye number 4 overall. That's my bold claim.
I
think they're going to shock everybody.
I'm telling you right now, you put your faith in Daniel Jones. I mean,
listen, I'm behind him.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd have a Merry Christmas. All right. So stop with the what ifs. Let's enjoy this. I mean,
no, again,
you know
I'm
what?
behind
the sun
him,
might not
but
rise
you always hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
Oh,
you gotta have your contingency plans, Joel.
Put the car in drive, you put it to the floor, and you hang on and enjoy the ride.
Well, then let's put the car in drive, put the pedal to the floor, and move forward with the 5 offensive linemen we got too.
Well,
enjoy what we got, right?
We might have to if they draft Parsons, then Fryer Muth in the second. I mean, we might not have a chance at another lineman.
Shout out to Zion for the $10 super chat. He says, "What's up, Hub? For the fam, thank you, I appreciate it." By the way, Zion and Miz are having a stream tomorrow at 8 o'clock or 8:30. I think I'm gonna pop in there for a little bit before Young Guns. He says, "Happy 420 to all the smokers out there." Is my mom here? Yo, Giants for life. What's up? What's Gucci? Joe, what's up, Max? Well, here's the thing. It's legal now in NYC, so that's I'm just say that. But yeah, go ahead, guys.
Joel can finish his thought here. I was just throwing out the hot takes there with the Atlanta pick and being ready to move on if we need to. Not saying that's what I want, but again, you always got to plan for the worst. If you don't plan for it, it's going to wind up biting you if you need it.
All right, here, let me tell you this right now. The New York Giants, let's say we finish and we go down all the way to 20. Can anybody here name, there's only 8 number 1 drafted quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. Can anybody here name the 8?
The 8 what?
There's 8 quarterbacks that were drafted number 1 that have won a Super Bowl.
Peyton, Eli,
8. There was a kid that was drafted number 1 for the Houston Texans.
Peyton, Eli.
He came to the Giants as a backup for a couple of years. His
Carr?
brothers. Yep.
Oh,
Carr.
yeah, technically he got a Super Bowl
Okay.
because he was the backup for the 07 one, right?
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw was number 1 overall pick. I didn't know that.
Jim Plunkett. And then there was another one who's a backup, and he won it. I can't remember. But for all you that wanted number 1 all you that wanted a quarterback with the number 1 overall pick, only 8 of them have ever won a Super Bowl, and 2 of them were backups. So for all the draft capital you want, for everything that you guys want or need to go up and draft a quarter, hey, Trubisky, they moved up. He didn't work out, but he was supposed to be their savior.
James, I did not know Kerry Collins was a first overall pick.
Yes. He went
to.
Yes.
With that being said, though, Joel, if we're going to take that math into consideration, how many 20th overall quarterback picks have won a Super Bowl?
What, 20th or more?
Yeah.
What, more?
No, like 20th overall.
He's basically saying later in the first 10.
Right, because you're saying if we're going to finish and we're going to be 20th, well, we don't need all that stock because first overall quarterbacks don't do so.
We don't even have to worry about it. Because Daniel Jones was pick 6. He was pick 6. Okay? So,
and what have I been saying since summer, bro? You know what I'm saying? Super Bowl 56 champs. It's been in my Twitter bio, by the way, since I said it last summer. I'll pull up my exact Twitter bio right now and read it word for word. Right? Giants fan and content creator. Join the Discord server. Giants will win Super Bowl 56. The Knicks 2021 playoffs. I put that in not recently. That's been there since summer of 2020, including the Knicks part. Knicks 2021 playoffs, and then the last line says down bad. But yeah.
Down bad, of course.
I mean, if everybody just wants numbers and everybody just wants to articulate that, we need to do this. If you guys start researching stuff, it's mind-blowing because you would have thought that there was more quarterbacks that were picked number 1 that would have won a Super Bowl. It's like receivers. If you look back to 2009 in the first round, there's only a handful. What I'm saying is that it's the skill positions that it's the O-line that seems to work out better. It's the D-line that seems to work out better.
Because I'll tell you what,
it's
and I say all the time about defensive linemen specifically, it's like we always say, for example, quarterbacks and cornerbacks are the 2 hardest positions to transition from college to the NFL. Defensive lineman, anywhere on the D-line, is the easiest to transition to the NFL.
So it's like if you look at Dallas, I mean, they picked an offensive lineman 3 years in a row, and they were all stars. I mean, they were great and good. It's that type of position. I'm not the one that said that you should never draft a tight end in the first round. That was a lot of the fans. That's a lot of the chat. Because I'm just trying to show you that it's not always the first round that's going to be guaranteed. Hey, Jay, look more into it when thinking position-wise. What's the hardest position to play on the football field? Cornerback, quarterback, tackle? If that's where you rely on your scouts.
Mm-hmm.
That's your coaching team. That's your inner office. That's your subordinates. That's you spending thousands of hours watching film. That's why these scouts get that money. That's why these scouts go to games. So, but how many of those wide receivers? I mean, if you look at John Ross, he was drafted just off his 40 time. Look, this guy ran a sub 4.20, 4.20, whatever he ran.
Which doesn't match the profile of the examples you listed and the top 3 guys right now.
No, it doesn't. It's more about the agility. So it's not so much that drafting is a miss. It's the scouts that miss because it's the guy in the 3rd round should have been drafted in the 1st round But that's not going to happen because it's called a reach, because he wasn't that productive at the 3-cone drill, because he couldn't jump that high, because his 40 time was off. You know, the 40 time to me is a joke. It shouldn't really even be accounted for, because these kids are drinking water by the gallon to put on weight, to step on the scale.
One of the perfect examples is one of my favorite prospects for this year, the running back Elijah Mitchell out of Louisiana. He plays at 215. He weighed in at his pro day at like 202. That's because he was trying to get a faster 40.
Yes. So really, is it that the guys aren't playing the position? The guys are, or is it they're not getting picked right? They're not getting drafted right. The scouts are missing. These experts are missing. You know, well, I wouldn't draft him until the 3rd round because of this and this, but then all of a sudden he's a star player. And I understand you only have so many tangibles to go on, and especially last year and this year, I mean, or there weren't a lot of games played. So what who's right, who's wrong? I'm not trying to see that, don't draft this player. I'm just, look, all I've ever said, all I ever wanted to do is just look at a different viewpoint to get people to open up and look and say, wow, okay, this does change my view, or I don't care, I'm still sold on it. It's a wonderful thing about being a fan.
And Max, let me get your last thought, then I'll pop you guys out.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. It's always a blast. I ended up recording episode 10 of the podcast tonight with someone who used to frequent here quite often. Mr. OGR Sports is going to be on my podcast tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to check that out. But again, Hub, Joel, it's always fun.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
Oh, appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you guys for tuning in, guys. Go over to check out Max's channel. Joel, have a good one, man. And next up, we got Logan's Giant Zone in here. I got a couple more members in here. It's going to be Logan, then Mike, then Ash Money, and I'm going to drop the like for everybody in the chat to have a chance to call in. What up, Logan? What's up? How you doing?
7 in a row, baby.
7 in a row. Bro, I'm telling you, it's going to be 10 in a row. It is going to be that.
The playoffs is over.
What happened?
We meet the Nets in the playoffs, it's over.
Exactly. What up, Calvin? How you doing? What up, John Doe in here?
Center back by the playoffs.
What happened?
We're going to have Mitch Robinson back by the playoffs.
Nah, Mitch Robinson is not going to be back by the playoffs. If anything, he's probably going to be back second round if we make it to the second round.
Speaking of that, if we make it to we're going to make it to the playoffs. How far do you think we'd go?
Depends who we face in the first round. I mean, if I'm going to speak honestly, I think we're a first round team and that's it. But if things break right, I think we could possibly make it to the second. I don't really see us getting past the second, though.
Oh, by the way, I would just like to mention, because you'll probably laugh, I was in Big Patch podcast last night for about 2.5 hours. I was actually arguing with Max last night. But apparently everyone agrees that I look like Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, no, somebody put that in the Discord as well. Yo, somebody dropped the Discord link. And they put a picture of Jokic next to Logan's face, and I was like, yo, Logan's a mini Jokic, bro. It makes sense.
I mean, I have a video up on my channel, and it's asking if I look like him, and it's already one of my most viewed videos.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
Bro, I am tall for my age, but I don't know if I'm Jokic tall.
How tall?
5'7". The average 13-year-old is around 5'2".
Really? I think... Yeah, no, I was like 5'7" around your age as well. But yeah, with the trade down talk and press conferences, anything that struck your mind?
I want us to trade. If we're going to take an edge rusher, I want us to trade down straight up. I want to go down to about 15 because Ojulari might get.
By the way, for anybody that doesn't notice, last week on the Legends Call-In show, Logan shared a story with us. Michael Strahan asked out Logan's mother, and for some reason, she turned him down. I don't know what's wrong.
All right, so my mom's in the mall, right? She's going to get autographs from NFL players. She also got an autograph from LT one time, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So Michael Strahan asks her out. She says, "Nah, fam, I'm good," and then just asks for his autograph and leaves. Imagine getting rejected by a girl, and then the girl after you rejects you, asks for your autograph.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, bro. But getting back to the press conference and trade down, I think you were talking trade down.
Yeah, I want to trade down to 15 and take Ojulari, to be honest.
and I'm fine with that. But 15 is the dream trade down scenario. Is there any other teams you could see possibly making to make the phone call with the Giants?
I wish another team was at 19, because that would be perfect for us. But obviously, we're not going to trade. Down with a division rival so they can get their quarterback. But probably 15 or maybe even 16 for Arizona. I could see them trading up for. If Rashawn Slater's on the board, I think they might trade up.
Really, only Slater?
Mm-hmm. Slater or Surtain.
What's the farthest you would want to trade down? Where does it get too much for you? Too much of a jump?
20.
20. That's Bears. Okay. I honestly don't know. I mean, I would obviously completely entertain the idea of trading down as well, but I'm just like, man, I don't know. I feel like 11 is such a sweet spot. I really would not mind just sticking there, even if the guy, whoever's number one on their draft board is gone. I really wouldn't mind sticking there.
Yeah. Who do you want? Because Slater's not going to be there, but who do you want in the first round besides Slater?
If Slater isn't there, my favorite player in the draft right now is Jalen Waddle.
Mm.
That it would be him. If he's not there, then I'll entertain the idea of Micah Parsons. If he's not there, which is completely possible that all three of them are gone, I definitely start to consider taking a guy like Aziz at 11, or, once again, I'll try and trade down. But that's really kind of how it stacks for me. Devontae is going to be gone within the top 10. I'm starting to think he's probably going to be gone within the top 10, Ash Money.
Detroit, probably.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? Oh, speaking of edge rushers, do you think Kwity Paye can play outside linebacker?
Kwity Paye can play outside. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I want to say no because he's a massive, just by size and build alone, he's just the perfect guy for a 4-3. I think it would be hard for him, not impossible. And then again, JPP's playing outside linebacker, so I could be completely wrong, but I don't know, honestly.
Like, if he's going to be playing outside linebacker, he's not going to be covering, so it's not like that would be a problem.
Yeah, if he's playing outside linebacker, he's just going to be out there on pass rushing downs.
Yeah.
Which kind of like, I don't know, if I'm taking a guy at 11 to play outside linebacker for me, I kind of want them to be out there on every down.
Yeah, like Ojulari. Or who's your favorite edge rusher in the class?
Ojulari.
Yeah. Mine, talent-wise, is probably Phillips, just for talent, but I don't really want him because of the concussion problems. Like, he has Sterling Shepard syndrome, and that's not a cool thing.
What, concussions?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he does. You're right.
And say we go edge in the first, would you rather a receiver or a guard in the second?
We go edge in the first. I'm definitely looking. I don't know. I would personally look for a guard in the second, but I wouldn't mind if the Giants do go receiver in the second.
What I think is the coaching staff has a lot more confidence in the offensive line than we do, and I think they'll go Ben Cleveland in the third.
Shout out to Jay Berman for the $10 super chat. He says, offensive line in the first round, please. Weapons are useless without consistently solid blocking. Our defense is already top 10 and we have playmakers. Just a light bulb thought, guys. I agree. But I really do not want to reach on a guy at 11 for offensive line. Which, by the way, guys, tomorrow I'm going to have to double check with him. But as of right now, Justin Pennick will be coming back on the Young Guns podcast tomorrow. We will be talking specifically offensive line and specifically a guy in Elijah Vera Tucker who has risen up draft boards as a potential prospect that the Giants might consider at 11. As of right now, I think it would be a reach, but we'll see if my mind can be changed. I'm definitely open to the idea. But, Jay, I agree with you if it's Slater. Go ahead there, Logan.
This is my ideal six-round mock draft, not mock draft. This is my ideal draft for the Giants. Ojulari in the first. Kadarius Toney in the second, Ben Cleveland in the third, a reliable guard or tackle in the fourth. In the fifth, I probably want Trey Sermon or Ramondre Stevenson. And in the sixth, just give me a corner if there's one good there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want for the Giants. Just get a little.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can finish, sorry.
No, I was going to respond to a comment so you can finish your thing.
Okay. I think what we need to do is take at least two offensive linemen, interior and tackle. Definitely get a receiver within the first two rounds and an edge somewhere in there.
Okay. I definitely feel it. By the way, Edward Ash, what is your quest? I'm not sure what you mean by my quest. Said that RJ was going to be a bust. But Logan, let me get your last thought before I pop you out for Mike.
Thanks for having me on. Anybody in the chat, if you like to, I got a channel, Logan's Giant Zone. Just uploaded my top 50 favorite players in this year's draft big board. I did my response to getting Nikola Jokic, and thanks for having me on.
No problem, Nikola Jokic Jr. See you later, man. Next up, we got Mike Nixon. Mike, how you doing?
What's going on, Hub?
What's up, bro? 7 games in a row.
Yep. And
how you doing?
We're gonna finish out the season undefeated. Have a feeling.
Really?
Have a feeling.
We have what, like 15 games left? I could be off. How many games do we have left?
That probably sounds right.
Because I know we play until March 13th. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 2 is 14 minus 1. We got 13 games left, actually. So we're going to finish the season at, what are we right now? 32 and 27?
Yeah.
So you're saying we're finishing at 50? Can you imagine if the Knicks finish at a 50-win team, bro? Or no. That would be 40. Completely overshot it. It would be 45 and 27. But can you imagine if we finish as a 40-win team? I am celebrating.
It can happen. It can happen. We're playing hot ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to me for hooking you up with the tweets again.
Yes, Mike was keeping me updated while I was working. I was working today. Yeah, he kept me updated with the tweets, and I caught about 10 minutes of it. Speaking of which, anything that caught your eye from that press conference?
Other than Kevin Abrams is boring.
I wouldn't say boring. He was entertaining to me because of the fact that he just didn't want to give up any type of information.
Yeah. But, hey, Gettleman and our lead scout, I think, are talking on Thursday.
Another press conference?
Yeah.
What's with 2 press conferences in 1 week? That's kind of strange.
I think they did this one to wrap up free agency and
or at least
Thursday,
the first wave of free agency.
Yeah, true. And then Thursday they'll get in the draft talk if anything.
Okay, so I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Yanfi is saying that the next press conference is for the draft.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. I got a couple of thoughts here on the draft as well. Let me hear what you think about it. Mikey says his second round pick is Joe Tryon, no matter what they do, even if they get an edge in the first. Well, if they get an edge in the first, I'm probably not going to go Joe Tryon. But do you know anything about Tryon there, Mike? What's your thoughts on him?
I mean, I did a little research on him. From what I know, he's solid, but if he take an edge in the first round, I doubt we would go edge in the second.
Jay Berman says Vera Tucker will be a great fit, plug and play immediate starter. What do you think about AVT?
I like him, but I would want to trade back to get him.
Okay. There's a lot of people that say he's not necessarily a reach at 11. So you're saying that you think he probably is?
I mean, no, but I think we can trade back just a little bit to draft him. I mean, everybody used to know what I want. Waddle or Parsons. I've been screaming it for the past 2 months. Parsons or Waddle. Because to me, you can't teach that speed. He's electric. And I just love electric players.
And Waddle, not to underestimate anything about him or just to label him as a speed guy, it's really good route running too. I know Smith probably has the best in the class, but Waddle's not that far behind.
I say the best route runner is Chase.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first time I think I heard anybody say Chase for his route running.
Yeah. I mean, I think he is.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the trade rumor is true for the Giants?
I mean, I believe it, but then again, there has to be a trade for us to make a trade, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was said last year that Dave Gettleman was gonna trade back in the second round, but McKinney fell to us.
It's also said that he was taking calls for the Andrew Thomas pick, but no calls were coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mark Primetime tuning in. He says, "What up, man? Can't wait for the draft. I'll be working, so I'm hoping you're going live so I can listen to you at work." Thank you, Mark Primetime. I saw somebody ask it earlier as well. The Young Guns will be live next week for the draft Thursday night. It's going to be on KB's channel. So Young Guns episode is going to be on his channel. Then the next night it's going to be on his channel. Then Friday night, which is round 2 and 3, is going to be back on my channel. And I'm not sure if we're doing anything for day 3 yet, but day 1 and day 2 we are going live.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, any other thoughts before I pop you on, man?
Just hopefully Gettleman doesn't screw up the pick.
I like the vote of confidence for Dave there.
I think he'll get it right though.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, he did last year, so I have faith in him.
Bet. And shout out to Sean Alexander Jermaine Werner here. What's up, man? He says he loves the profile pick, Mike. And Mike, with that being said, I'm gonna let you go, man. Thank you for calling in.
All right. You're welcome, Hub.
Real quick, before I pop in Ash Money, who I know is a heavy Devontae Smith guy, I'm gonna read kind of an opposite comment by the bro here, Jay Merman. He says, if you trade back and target AVT, you risk trading out of a player who fills a glaring hole on the offensive line. Take him at 11, assuming Sewell and Slater are off the board. And Jay, you're preaching for the old line right now. I'm popping on somebody who's preaching for the wide receivers. What up, Ash Money? How you doing?
What's up, man? Listen. Like you said, I'm a receiver guy. Am I missing something, Hub, or is the drop off from somebody like AVT or even Rashawn Slater at guard? Is it that deep from somebody that we could get in the second or third round?
With Rashawn Slater at guard, yes. AVT, that's the whole reason I'm bringing on somebody tomorrow to see if they can convince me.
Like, all right, so what to you? Because I haven't paid much attention to Rashawn Slater. What to you does Rashawn Slater do like that he would do at guard that's different from somebody like Wyatt Davis or somebody?
Well, if we're talking, when it comes down to is just the technicalities of being a good offensive lineman that Slater has down 100%, way better compared to anybody else in the second, whether it's a guard or a tackle. That's what it comes down to.
Okay, so here's my thing, and there's a lot of people that think the same thing, so you're gonna hear me repeat a lot of similar things. Mm-hmm. We spent 3 draft picks last year drafting offensive linemen. And now I know that Shane Lemieux, what we see now, he's not
I was just gonna ask you, do you really expect all three of them to be hit for us to go 100% with 3 offensive line picks in the same draft?
No, I don't expect Shane Lemieux to be a hit. Okay. Matt Pert looks like, he's looking beastie, in the offseason. Like, the potential was there. You can see it. And we already have left tackle Andrew Thomas, and he's shown some flashes, But my thing is that we can't just jump the gun on Shane Lemieux. Dude hasn't even played a whole season. And we brought in all these offensive line assistants. Like, I really don't want to hear what these offensive linemen can't do. We don't know yet. And
we brought in the new offensive line coach and 1 offensive line assistant.
Yeah. So, and we could say we have faith in Joe Judge and his coaching staff for one thing. We have to be, full on. You either have faith in the coaching staff to fix these problems or not. And like I said, I'm going off of what I saw in the offseason. When Joe Judge fired Mark Colombo, and he spent more time with the offensive line, they got better. And that was with Shane Lemieux in the starting lineup. Now, I'm not saying Shane Lemieux was going to be the offensive guard of the future for the next couple of years. No, I'm just saying that I don't feel comfortable taking another offensive guard after we spent 3 picks last year. When you have somebody like Devontae Smith, there, you think he's not going to be there. I do. I think the only receiver going in the top 10 is Jamar Chase. I don't rule out Detroit taking a quarterback, really. I feel like they just got Jared Goff just because, they needed a quarterback and LA was trying to get rid of him. I don't think they feel like Jared Goff is their quarterback of the future. And they also got 2 first-round picks in the trade. So if somebody like Justin Fields or Trey Lance is there, I think it's hard for them to pass up on that. But we'll see that, come draft night. But back to the whole OL versus receiver thing, I'm just saying, if this coaching staff thinks that this offensive line is good, and we've had countless rumors, granted they are rumors, but if we had countless rumors talking about, Joe Judge and the coaching staff feels content with this offensive line, I'm going to put my faith in it, And back to the point, I think it was Joel. He said, you can, I forgot what he said, but he was basically like, if the receivers can't get open, something like that. I went back and I watched countless games last season, and even Daniel Jones' rookie year. Daniel Jones, sometimes he's had straight 45, a whole bunch of time in the pocket, and his receivers still want to get open. And I know Diggy says this, and a lot of people said this, we're literally a Kenny Golladay injury away from being the same receiving core that we were last year. And if we have the time, I just want to get into this real quick because I found this interesting about this whole receiver narrative about, you can find receivers anywhere. Last year, the 2020 NFL draft, they were saying it was the deepest since 2014. And if it wasn't the deepest, it was arguably the deepest of all time. That's arguments that Bleacher Report and everybody was putting out coming up into the draft. And me, I don't know if you feel this way, but I think, let's say we go offensive line first round. I don't think we're taking a receiver to at least round 3. So I'm going to give you some receivers taken in round 3 to round 7. Just some. Brian Edwards, Las Vegas. Devin Duvernay. Gabriel Davis, who has proven to be good with Buffalo, but let's be real, I don't think he would perform the same if he didn't have Stephon Diggs. Antonio Gandy Golden, remember him? Joe Reed, Tyler Johnson, Quintez Cephas, John Howtar, KJ Osborne, Donovan Peoples-Jones, that was a steal in the 6th round. He's taken in round 6 by Cleveland. Quez Watkins, James Proche, Desmond Patton, Freddie Swan, Juwan Jennings. The list goes on. Oh, KJ Hill for Los Angeles, another hype receiver that we were looking at going into the draft. Now, please, I just want everybody to tell me, would y'all want any of those receivers other than any receiver in rounds 1 and 2? I just want to know. Judy, CD, Henry Ruggs, he has some injury issues, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if he was on another team and he didn't have Derek Carr throwing the football, he would have been better. CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, even in the second round, Chase Claypool. So I'm saying if we don't take a receiver in the first round, we're gonna have to take one in the second. And Jaden, the champ, says Terry in the fourth. Listen, what success has the Giants other than Victor Cruz, who was undrafted, Darius Slayton in the fourth, who the
fifth,
the narrative is still on. What really receiver has the Giants had success with? We literally Ruben Randall.
Are you talking about receivers outside the first?
Outside, like the first and second.
So first and second, you're saying?
Yeah.
So wait, if you're arguing for first and second, why are you so against taking a receiver in the second?
No, I'm saying we can't take a receiver like outside the first and second. Like, I'm not going to be comfortable with passing receiver in the first and second, and the narrative of people wanting to, or like, Jaden said, taking receiver in the late rounds. I'm just not comfortable with that.
Okay. I thought you were just arguing only for the first. No. I agree with you if you're arguing for first and second. I think we definitely need to take one in the top 2 rounds, whether it's with the 11th or the 42nd. So I got you there. That's a pretty good list you brought up as well, because that was the argument. You're right that a lot of people were using last year. Oh my God, this is one of the deepest wide receivers class in history, and really outside the second round, you couldn't really find anybody.
Yeah, and not even just last year. Another deep receiving class, 2014. Tell me what receiver outside of Devontae Adams, who was taken in the second round. I think Jarvis Landry was taken in the late first. But other than that, what receiver, go back and look, what receiver has been successful? You can't name one over Odell, Mike Evans, Devontae, and Jarvis. You can't really name one. So I'm saying, and like Devontae Smith, if he's there, that's my pick. I don't feel comfortable taking an edge rusher at 11. You like Aziz. I like Jalen. It's just the injuries, the injuries do something to me. Tommy G said DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf and AJ Brown should have never lasted to the second round. They should have been first.
By the way, shout out to Vizet in here and Mixed Sports saying Devontae was at the Knicks game today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Devontae, the thing is, he's frying all the best corners in this year's draft. J.C. Horn looked like a fool trying to cover him. He's frying Patrick Surtain in practice every day. I don't know. You know
who else did that? I know one shout out to Diggy. I know he doesn't like this guy. I kind of like him. And, well, you guys will see why. But another guy, this is a second-round receiver that fried both J.C. Horn. Well, with J.C. Horn, I'm going to have to check on Surtain, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, was Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss.
Yeah. I like him. I know Diggy doesn't like him as much as he likes the other guys. I think he's a suitable guy. He could be basically, if the Giants were to draft him, he could be basically a better, talented Darius Slayton to me. I don't know.
I think he's actually, I'm going to let you speak on it. Go ahead.
Oh, on Elijah Moore?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying, to me, on this offense, I think he'll just be a better, Darius Slayton. He definitely has some potential there, but all these guys, we have to bet on potential.
I'm gonna say this: he not at all like Darius Slayton, in my opinion.
What does he do? What does he do different than Darius Slayton, or what do you think Darius?
He's
Slayton
more
does?
Similar to Sterling Shepard to me.
Really?
Yeah, he's more similar to Shepard. I guess I can see why you say he's like Slayton, because he plays, and this is the same thing I say for Waddle as well. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying two similar aspects is that both of these guys are looked at as slot receivers, but they can 100% play on the outside, no problem. It's just that if you put them in the slot, that's where their talents are best going to be used. Want to put that out there because a lot of people think, for example, Waddle is just a pure slot, and it's like, nah, he could go on the outside and he will survive on the outside just fine. Same thing with Moore, but he's more like Shepard to me. He kills anybody and everybody on the inside, and he's great at slant and sluggo routes on the outside, man. His speed is there.
Do you know his build off of like memory, or do you have to look it up?
5'10" or 5'11", 180, 185.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And I'm just looking at the chat right now because I knew before I came on this, I knew I was gonna get a lot of heat. He said we win games in the trenches. Here's my thing. I know a lot of old school Giant football fans, they like to, win games by running the ball and playing defense in the trenches. Bro.
Which, to be fair, that looks like how the team is being built.
Yeah. But my thing is that I'm not worried about winning the division. I'm worried about making it in the playoffs, competing for a Super Bowl. And to do that, you're not going to make it running the ball and winning the trenches. And I know somebody's going to be like, well, Tampa Bay did it in the Super Bowl. Yes, but they only got that much attention because it was in the biggest game in the NFL. You think Tampa Bay would get the record that they would and get to the Super Bowl running the ball and playing defense? No.
And that's what they did. Did they pass when they had to? Yeah, but they ran the ball and had a shutdown defense.
Yeah, but look at us. Like, look at us last year. When our game plan in the second half of the season was to run the ball and, play defense and hope we can shut down the other team's quarterback. It worked with Seattle, yes, but that's not going to work every week to me. If we're playing, we play the Chiefs this season. If we're playing, Justin Herbert, I think he's going to make a big second-year leap. The NFL is changing, and I just feel like it's more pass-heavy, fire-powered offense. So
I don't necessarily agree with that because I think the pass has become more important. I don't think the league has become a pass league, though, because when playoff time hits, it's not a passing league. All the teams that make it far, they rely on their defense and on their lines in particular. Once again, has passing and the passing game became way more prevalent? Yeah, kind of like in the NBA, of like how the 3-point game has become way more prevalent, but it's not a 3-point league. Like, that is evident. It's just that it's become a bigger part of the game. I think it's the same thing for passing.
And people are like, what's up, Vance? And people are like,
what up, Vance, as well? I didn't see him.
We got to control the clock. We try to control the clock against the Ravens. We're not like, you can't rely on that. The Ravens made us look like fools trying to control the clock against them. And
the Ravens were also rushing 8.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, am I gonna bet we're gonna be able to control the clock against Kansas City? No, especially with Patrick Mahomes coming back with a vengeance. No, I'm sorry. Like I said.
By the way, I do want to say we play Kansas City this year, and I actually think we're a good matchup for them.
Yeah, last time we played Kansas City, didn't we win last time?
Yeah, it was when we went 3-13.
I remember watching that game in the car on my phone, but
yeah, Ashman, let me get your last thought before I pop you out, though.
All right, man. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I started my podcast, the Ash Running Records podcast, on 7 streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So you guys should check me out. And I'll also, if you like my thoughts, or if you want to conversate some more, I am going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. to do a mock draft with my homeboy Dylan. So yeah, but anyway, sub up the hub. Thank you for having me on, Kush.
No problem, man. Have a good one, Ashman. You guys go over and check out his channel. Mike says he thought of something that he took from the press conference. We're not being done in free agency. Does make sense. Free agency technically lasts until like August, and offense wins games, but defense wins championships. So with that, I'm saying we might go defense. Interesting. Next up is football talk with Benny. Then right after that, we got a heavy defense guy and Colin Legend and Miz, and then we got Jaden, and then we got Rick. What up, Benny? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm good, bro.
I wanted to talk a little bit the draft and like a few like the ways we could go. Actually, Money kind of changed my mind on the receiver a little bit. I was saying we didn't need to go, but in the first 2 rounds. But actually, now that he talks about it, I thought the line that he said was that was really good was we're one Kenny Galladay injury away from having the same receiving core as last year, basically. Which I think I agree with a lot. But the thing is that I don't think we need to worry about taking one in the first round. I think we could take one in the second round. I think there's so many guys that will be there in the second round. It's just not worth it taking in the first. You got guys like what? I don't know. Elijah Moore can make it there. Kadarius Toney can make it there.
And I'll tell you what, bro. If Kadarius Toney makes it there, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach, bro. And you guys are gonna see why on Thursday night. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I think a guy like Kadarius Toney, it's very realistic he makes it there, and I would think I would love that. So we could go with him. Also, something about trading down, I think it would make a lot of sense, especially the team. I think a team that's perfect for us, honestly, is the Bears. I know it's actually a decent trade down spot. It's 9 picks, but we could get a lot for it. We could get a future first round pick, which I think is a big deal. So if we trade down with the Bears, I think it's still a perfect position where we could get a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker, who I like. Although I do see your point.
ABT might be gone by 20.
Yeah, he might be gone, but I could also see your point on how he might not be as separate from guard, like players in offensive linemen, like in the second round and stuff. But the one thing that he does have that I love for us is flexibility to play guard and tackle, which I think is important because I feel like guard and like we have Lemieux and we have what's his name, the tackle Matt Parrott. So we have those two, and I feel like honestly I doubt both of those two work out. But if we get a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker, we can just kind of like choose which one works out, whoever we think is working it better, and we just put him at that. Whoever's not working out, we just put him at the spot. So,
Duran, that's a good one. Tevin Jenkins might be there at 11.
Yeah, exactly. And a guy like Tevin Jenkins would be there. We could also go, if you want receiver, there's a lot of receivers that will still be there. But I would rather even wait to the second round because I think we have a perfect spot for them. There's edge rushers. I think all the edge rushers will be there. If not, there's one guy that'll probably be off. Kwity Paye, but will be up. But we don't even really need him, honestly. He doesn't fit our scheme.
And somebody was saying that earlier about the edge to Minnesota. I'm like, Kwity Paye is objectively speaking the best pass rusher in the class. Is just that he won't be an edge for us, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's too bad because he's actually a really good player and he doesn't really get talked about. I feel like because at least in the Giants community, because he doesn't fit us, so people don't really talk about him as much. But he's great. But I feel like all these edge rushers will be there. If not, maybe one's off the board or something like that. But I still feel like that's a lot of guys. So you basically have a lot of positions, a lot of players that are still there. I still feel like we could get a good player there. And here's the thing. If we make it to the playoffs and all, it's going to be really helpful. If we have 2 first-round picks next year and we already are a playoff team, it's going to be a big deal. This can be huge because we have the choice of taking 2 players. We could even trade some of those picks if we want to trade for some big-time player because, every year this, surprise superstars in the offseason wanting trades. And if we're a win, if we're a team like that, if we're, have an 11-win season or a 10-win season and we make the playoffs and we see a star that fits us, that needs a spot to go, it could definitely be trading one of those picks or in some other stuff because we have a lot of assets, young assets especially, and try to get a guy like that.
Do you see the Giants as a team that would trade for a big star, though?
I think it depends on the star, honestly. But I could see it happening. If we're good, I could see it happening, honestly. You look at teams in the past. I mean, a lot of teams sometimes they just have to get that final move to try to kind of push themselves, and make them a Super Bowl contender. And I think we could definitely use that. And even if we didn't want to make a trade, we could trade up in the draft if we want a guy. We can get 2 good first-round players in the draft, So I feel like we could do a bunch of stuff. And one thing about the Bears is even if I feel like if they get a quarterback, I'm not sold on the Bears. I don't think they're going to be that good next year, honestly. So they could actually have a decent pick for us if we get their first-round pick,
So you're saying if we trade back with the Bears, obviously we'd swap picks, get a future first, and what else?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I was actually looking. I don't know if you ever seen. There's like charts that show like draft value for each pick,
Yeah,
and it seemed like that was around the value. But I honestly think it will be worth more. So I think we could still get like maybe a third, second round pick, especially if they're competing with other teams to get up there, which I'm hoping they are. Maybe with teams like the Patriots. I think we could get an extra from that draft, an extra like second or third round pick. You could definitely get some other good picks. I just think it makes so much sense because
Yeah, I think I made a video last week or a couple weeks ago about possible trade down scenarios, and with the Bears, I was like swapping firsts, a future first, and then an additional second or third. Or if they don't want to give us that additional second and third, give us a good role player.
exactly. We could get a guy. If you guys want receiver, we could get a guy like Anthony Miller.
That's exactly who I said in that video, Anthony Miller.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's she gave me that idea. Yeah, we got traded like for a guy like him. I'm trying to think. There was some other players that they had that we could trade for. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they have a bunch of players. They especially Anthony Miller. That's really realistic guy that we could trade. It would be that first, of course.
It will be swapping first, a future first, and Anthony
future
Miller.
first, and then Anthony Miller, which would be a great return. But yeah, like say we trade back with the Bears, and here's like a good scenario in my opinion. We trade back with the Bears. We get our like a second round pick or something like that. We get our edge rusher and like a guy like Azeez Ojulari in that first round, the 20th pick. Then in the second round, we get a guy like Kadarius Toney. Then we'll say I guess we have another second round pick or a third round pick, and we try to pick up like an offensive lineman right there. And then with our third round pick, we get Chaz Surratt. I think that would be a really nice draft. And
You're speaking like a dream scenario right now.
I mean, that's like a dream scenario.
Yeah.
But, I've seen, mocks where Chaz Surratt's at that spot. I've seen him in the third round. I've seen.
Yeah, no, I wasn't referring to Chaz in the third because that's realistic. I was talking about the whole thing.
The whole thing. I see, but in general, I mean, I know it sounds like crazy, and it's definitely a dream draft. I'm not saying it's super realistic, but like it's definitely possible. Like I've seen a lot of drafts where there are guys at those specific positions that are like, that are at those positions that could make it possible for something like that to happen. It's pretty realistic these days with Kadarius there.
Shout out to the Undertaker, Entertainer Talking Sports. I said Undertaker. I was thinking Undertaker for some reason. Stand up, Giants fans. He's in here. What up, man? Obviously, welcome to call. I think the link is pinned. But yeah, Benny, continue.
Yeah. But like, what was I gonna say? And even if a guy like Kadarius Toney wasn't there, I mean, there's so many receivers. Like, I honestly think that there's in that second, in that spot, I really think there's gonna be at least 2 or 3 good receiver options there.
Because I mean, I hear where you're coming from. Because listen, in my opinion, O-line is still a need. The thing is, I'm not completely shutting out anybody that says O-line isn't technically a need because they just want to see chemistry and they want to see the line gel. Because to be fair, the Giants haven't had one starting lineup that started all 16 games in a long time, in like 5 or 6 years. We've always changed the lineups within the seasons. So I completely understand where people are coming from when they say, let's just give them time to gel. Let's trust in the coaching staff. Let's trust in the new line coach that we brought in. I understand that. Part of me still wants to fix it immediately, and that's why I'm like, yo, if Slater is there, he's the guy. I'm not considering anything else. However, if Slater is gone, my mind is open again. I'm definitely looking receiver, definitely looking edge, definitely looking maybe AVT. I'm slowly getting convinced to the AVT train. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm standing, Benny.
Yeah, here's something that's a little bit of a hot take might people may consider it to be one. But I really don't think it is. I think it's very realistic that a guy like Rashawn Slater goes over Penei Sewell. I've seen, overall just from the NFL, like more like not like Giants reporters, but like NFL actual reporters, like making it sound like Sewell is kind of seems to be getting put under Slater on NFL teams. I like Sewell more, but I think a lot of teams are actually liking they're liking Slater more. And so I think it's very realistic that Slater maybe goes to a team like the Bengals or something. And if a team like the Panthers passes up on Sewell, then we could actually get him, which would be great because I would love Sewell. Yeah, if he makes it there, unless we get a huge haul or something, I'm not trading back. Sewell's a great option.
Shout out to Marjorie in here as well. Brett Quokka, Nick the Wick, Thunder 44. I think I already gave a shout out to Vance Billow. You guys know I love the Hogs. But like I was saying, if that one particular guy in Slater is gone, I'm looking at a guy like Waddle, who is my favorite player in the draft.
Yeah, I would like Waddle also. I mean, if we go receiver in the first round, I still think it would be a good pick. I honestly don't think there's many ways to mess up this draft. Like, there's so many things that we can do. We can in the first round.
We have a lot of
specifically.
options.
I mean, we can go receiver. I'll be fine with that. We can go offensive line. I'd be fine with that. Heck, we could reach on an edge rusher, which I would be fine with. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad about that. We could trade back. I wouldn't be mad about that. Really, there's like so many ways we could go, and I think they're all fine. It's just like I'm trying to decide the best option. But at the end of the day, I think if we don't screw it up, I think we're getting a good player. So I'm fine with it. I'm happy.
Yeah, man. Benny, thank you for calling in, man. Have a good one,
Thanks
bro.
for having me on.
Guys, go over there, check out Football Talk with Benny. And yeah, man. Next up, we got the call-in legend Miz. But before I bring her on real quick, what was I gonna say? Somebody says oh yeah, Thunder. Only way to mess up this draft is to take Rousseau at 11. I agree. 100%. By the way, guys, call-in link is pinned for anybody that wants to call in. Miz, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Hub?
I'm good.
How are you?
I'm waiting. You said we're gonna get a passionate Miz.
Oh, I was gonna get into it with Max. It started last night, but Max is gone. I like Max though, but the guy you had before Benny, I like little Benny, by the way. Very smart kid. Has a big future, man. He understands the sport. But the guy before, what is it? Something Money?
Ash Money.
Yeah, Ash Money. No disrespect, man, but I am not. We went over this. I do not want a wide receiver at 11, man. When there are so many receivers in this draft, and I know people say, "Oh, you shouldn't pick for need at 11. You should take the highest value." But why can't you have both? Right? So, I'm starting to think the Giants. I'm starting to think the one guy that's starting to stand out is Azeez Ojulari, and because the Giants can get him at a lower number, they might actually this time there might really be a chance that they trade down. Like I know they were saying it today. I don't believe anything these people throw out there on TV. They're bored and they got a new story every day.
But Miz, what for you makes it more believable than when they said last year we were going to trade down?
Because this year, the Giants, like you were just saying, the Giants can get any one of like 8 or 10 players, and we would all be happy with it. The Giants are not like cornered into a must. So the Giants are in a good spot where they could get somebody. And I'm also someone who doesn't believe in you can't have this guy at 11 because he's supposed to go at like 21. No, if you like someone a lot and you really love this guy and he also fits a major need, take him at 11. I don't care what other people think.
That's kind of what that's what happened with Daniel Jones at 6.
Exactly. And that's another thing. And the Giants are the type of organization that don't give a damn. They don't listen to the media and all the outside. We already saw that with Daniel Jones. You sort of saw it with Barkley when people were trying to push them to take a quarterback, So, and also they showed it once again when they traded Odell and they had enough of him. And the media world was against that, obviously. So, which turned out to still be, I think, the right move.
I think so, too. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. The people make arguments for, like, for example, the Browns winning the trade. I don't see how today you can sit here and tell me the Browns won that trade when you consider what we got back.
Oh, no. For the people that hate Gettleman robbed the Browns badly. You can put it straight out like that. He took them for a ride, man, because you ended up with 2 good years out of Zeitler, but you got yourself Peppers, who's a leader on this defense at a young age, and then you went out and drafted with the pick they gave you Lawrence, who's a beast. So, and listen, the Browns are doing good for themselves, so they don't care right now. But right now the Browns want to trade, whether they're saying it or not, they're going to trade Odell in the next year. So they don't really need him. And if they could go back and redo that, I guarantee you they wouldn't have made that trade. But I liked watching the press conference today.
What stood out?
What?
What stood out?
what stood out is the thing I love the most is that if people sit and watch, they realize how Gettleman plays the media because he knows they don't like
Miz,
and he
Gettleman.
clowns them, man.
I love Gettleman is the ultimate troll when it comes to the media. He's been doing it for years. This man absolutely trolls the media so much. It's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Like you see the way he talks to them too. Like he calls some of them like son and kid and all that.
Man,
I'm like, yo, this guy, bro.
He disrespects them in a sophisticated way. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Man. And now and what I loved about today, man, I was telling my friend, he's a Jets fan, and he saw it also. He was noticing it. I said, yo, now Gettleman got himself like a twin. Two of them were bullshitting the media today. It was great, man. Like,
Gettleman is the one that straight up just makes the jokes, and like nobody realizes it unless you take a second look. Kevin Abrams just does not care about the media. He just doesn't want to be there.
No, he don't want to be there. But it looked like a great show, man. You know what it reminded me of? Oh, you're gonna laugh, man. I don't know if you remember. Maybe it's before your time. We had the Muppet Babies, and you had the two old people in the balcony always making fun of everyone.
Nah, that's before my time.
Some of the guys there, like Entertainer, probably remember this. Those two old guys in the balcony were always the ones just abusing people from up top. And that was Gettleman. That was both of them today. It was great.
I could watch a whole show if it's just Gettleman and Kevin Abrams talking to the media, yo.
And listen, Gettleman knows how they've treated him, and I'm waiting.
That's what, Miz. That's why I love it so much, because he's been doing it basically since last year. Like, remember the picture? This is when I knew Gettleman was a troll. When he put out the picture of his draft setup and it was just one laptop and a stack of papers, I'm like, oh, he's trolling them. Like, because he knows what the media says about him, how he's not smart, how he's old school. And then we saw draft night. He had the whole setup, bro. Of course he would have the whole setup.
Yeah, he had the little tiny little baby laptop. You look like me. You look like me. I don't know what I'm doing over there. I'm like, and this guy, listen, man, you think this guy doesn't hear everything? You think this guy was fighting cancer and these pieces of garbage were still putting him down? You wait till the night that hopefully on his watch we win a Super Bowl, because he is going to have the biggest laugh of all.
And Miz, you know what I say? Even if we don't win it on his watch, I've made this comparison before. It's kind of like how Ernie Accorsi built the first Super Bowl team, but he wasn't here for it. We won it under Reese. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. Like, the team is built by Gettleman, but it's won in the first year by another GM.
Yeah, and that was Accorsi's team. Everybody knows it. And this will be Gettleman's team. I hope he'll be around. I know he's getting older, but people still don't realize, man. The young kids still don't realize, because they listen to the media's like garbage. They believe in it. This guy, people don't realize such a good job this guy is doing the last 2-3 years. The first few years wasn't his fault. He had to come out of a major hole that we were left in. Okay? Now we're starting to see what he's put together.
Miz, let's break it down real quick right now, right? 2018 first year, I think he had a great draft. Like, I made a video on it a couple weeks ago. I think the 2018 draft for the Giants is still a good, possibly great one. You consider the players we got. We got Barkley, ultimate superstar, immediate starter. Hernandez, immediate starter. Has he struggled a bit? Yes, but still a good player. BJ Hill, great rotational player that could be a starter. Is just literally our defensive line room is so stacked that he doesn't have the starting title. You know what I'm saying? You know, guys like Austin Johnson, starter and whatnot. Like, so 2018 draft was good, possibly great. It's just free agency. But free agency was because of what you said. We were trying to work our way out of cap hell. You know what I'm saying? 2019, another great draft, another free agency where we're still working our way out of that cap situation. And then when the cap finally gets aligned, 2020, continuing the streak of good drafts, and then great free agency. Now 2021, the best free agency so far, and we're hoping the best draft.
And then you know what you're gonna have, and you know what else we're gonna have? We're gonna have the best year. We're gonna have the best year we've had in a long time this year. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Giant fan, because I didn't say this the last few years. This team this year is gonna be a major problem for the entire NFC conference. I'm not worried about the division, because I think we're winning the division. Yeah, you heard it here first. We're winning the NFC East. Okay? And a lot of these people on TV. Did you get a chance to see Stephen A today?
I didn't. I saw something about Max saying we're drafting a quarterback.
And Stephen A raped him, abused him.
Yo. Chill with the language, though. Chill with the language.
I'm sorry, man, but he destroyed
just that particular word. I don't know what YouTube's about to do.
He
Destroyed him.
Destroyed him, man. And Max like just sat there like dumbfounded, like what are you saying? And Stephen A actually stuck up. The Giants are building. You got to put more pieces around him, an old lineman, or a receiver. Like he was saying the right things, for once.
And you know what I'll say to Stephen A. He's an entertaining guy, but when it comes to the Giants, I never liked his takes because he always looked for a way out. Like he was never on board with Joe Judge until a couple months ago, and I was like, you know what? I understand that a lot of people weren't. But whenever he used to talk about the Giants, he'd put them down, but then say, "But I like Joe Judge," because he was always planning his way out if it got successful. It's getting successful, and now he might be hopping on the bandwagon.
No, not yet, but he will. He will about 5-6 weeks into the season. He'll find a way to maneuver it and make it like I never said all that. That's what you're gonna get from a lot of these guys. But some of them will admit they're wrong.
Oh, this is hilarious.
About that.
Miss, this would be hilarious. Gettleman at a Super Bowl press conference. Can you imagine the level of trolling, man?
It might be more must see than the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, it'll be great. It'll be a Broadway act, but this is my thing at 11. I know there's great receivers. I know the Giants can draft Devontae Smith, but here's my thing. Did we not just pick up a number one receiver? I don't care what people say. Kenny Golladay is a number one receiver. Okay, so did we not pick up a Kenny Golladay? So now, if you take a receiver at 11, are you gonna find a top O-line or a top edge guy in the second or third round that you would get at 11, or even if we drop back to 15? You see what I'm saying? But you will get another good receiver in the third round in this draft. Yes, you will. But you can't go spend an 11 on a receiver and then come out of this draft, you didn't get an edge, and even worse, you didn't solidify this O-line with a real good guard. That's going to be a real problem because now you go into the season with major expectation, but you don't have the O-line to support Jones and those weapons. And it could be another 6-win season when it could have been a 10-win season. That's how much that 11th pick has to go on a big-time defender or a real guard like Slater. And when I say big-time defender, I'm talking about Parsons. And the only other guy the Giants are probably really looking at is Aziz. I love Kwity Paye. I think he's going to be special.
Kwity Paye is going to be a great player. He just doesn't fit us. And I know Nerding on Sports loves Kwity Paye. Nerding on Sports, bro. I agree with your love for him. But if we're taking an edge rusher at 11, they better be able to cover so that they could stay out there on all downs. I'm not drafting somebody 11 if they can't, in this defense, stay out there on all downs.
Well, we don't know if he could grow as a pure pass rusher. We know he's a great run stopper. But I think the guy that fits the Giants, and I have a feeling the Giants are very high on, is starting to emerge as a Aziz.
And I haven't myself Aziz for like weeks now, man.
Yeah.
Aziz is that dude. And not only, the way he plays fits us, the man's coaches are like his coaches are already on the coaching staff.
But okay, we pass up on Devontae Smith at 11. You're telling me there aren't really good receivers in the third round? There are.
Miz, I'll say this. I don't want a receiver in the third. I want one in the second. I don't want to take a chance at them not being there in the third.
What are you taking at 11? If you're not taking, let's say you're not taking a receiver, you're gonna go receiver at 42. What are you taking at 11?
It's either O-line or edge, one out of the two. Are you asking me to specifically pick between O-line and edge?
No, I want you to pick the more important piece to this team to make a run the next 2 years.
If I'm picking between the two, I'm going O-line. Because our defense, man, listen. A lot of people don't like to hear it, but our defense could survive another year without an edge because it did just fine last year without that quote-unquote number one edge. The defense got better. The secondary got better. The linebacking core got better. They're going to survive another year if it comes down to that scenario.
Yeah, but you know what? Like the previous guy was saying, he's right, man. Because I'm an old school guy, and he was specifically talking about the old school Giants generation. And you know what, man? None of the edge guys to me are like
they're not Nick Bosa,
scary edge guys that we have on the team already. But we could draft one right here. I feel like Aziz could be one. or Phillips if he's healthy. I don't even know, like. Or there's guys in the second round at 42. Like I love what's his name? Is it Joe Tryon, man?
Out of Washington.
Tell you, that guy's a stud, man. Perkins is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go O-line at 11, if Slater's there and you want to take him, I would go defensive end. I would get the edge rusher at 42. But it all comes back to one thing for me. This is me. Maybe the Giants changed their mind, but I don't think they did because they've gotten really quiet about it, and that tells me that they're trying to keep him under the cover. I think if Parsons is there at 11, we're still going to run up to the podium and take Parsons.
Who do you think could take him before us?
Broncos.
Don't rule out Carolina now.
I think Carolina, you better keep your eyes on for Slater.
100%. I think the 2 picks for Carolina are Slater or Parsons.
Wouldn't shock me if they took a quarterback if it was there. It wouldn't shock me, Carolina, because I don't know how sure they are on Sam. I don't think they are that sure.
Why would they trade for him then?
Who would they trade for who?
I'm saying, like, if they weren't that sure, I don't think they would have traded for him.
No, I know, but if one of those quarterbacks that everybody...
Oh, you're saying if one of them just drops?
They just take another one and then they let them both be on the team for 2 years, something like that. But that's not likely. I agree with you, but you never know. The thing is, Denver... Yeah, I would watch out for the Cowboys, too, because the Cowboys, I don't know why, man. I feel like they find out people that we want, and then they go grab them also, I
agree with you there. It's a conspiracy theory, but I agree.
Yeah, I don't like the way they are, the Cowboys. They just, and they're hearing it about how their defense needs players. They're hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys are not trying to get Pitts. You could trust me on that.
This is what I meant when I was saying our defense could survive without it. It's pressure by committee. Right now, I'm not saying I'm gonna be opposed if we take an edge because it's obviously gonna help. But this is why I think, in my opinion, we could really go this draft without taking that quote unquote number 1 guy and wait until next year when the class is better.
I agree with you, but I know the Giants. I know their organization. I know how Gettleman and Mara are, and I know Judge too. Judge is of that old school with that young mind, and I'm telling you, the Giants. If you ask me right now to bet a few M&Ms, the Giants are looking at their first pick is going to be a defender. I just have a feeling, man. I have a feeling.
Miz, great calling as always. Is that going to be your last up before you close out, or you got another one for us?
No, I'm going to let you go. I know you got other people. Just tomorrow night, I'm having a stream with Zion. I know Hub is joining us for a little bit. I spoke to Entertainer. He's going to try to pop in. We have a lot of guys coming. Pat's going to be on. I want everyone out there to call in tomorrow about 8:45 on. You look on my channel.
8:45. You're gonna be cutting it close there with Young Guns.
8:30, 8:40. I'm leaving it up to Zion. He's good with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, but yeah, I will be over there because Zion was telling me it would have been 8:30, and I was like, that works out just fine for me to pop in for about 40 minutes.
If you pop in for a little bit, you pop in. I'm not holding anybody by handcuffs, but we'll have a good time.
100%, guys. Definitely check it out tomorrow. Check out Miz. Check out Zion. Thank you for calling in, Miz. Have a good one.
All right, yeah.
Next up, we got Jaden the Champ. What up, Jaden? How you doing?
What's good, Hub? What's good, everybody? I would like to be introduced, Hub.
This is Jaden the Champ.
Yeah. The champ is here.
I ain't doing that.
Come on. All right. We ain't got to do all that. And let's address the draft.
Mm-hmm.
The edge is not important. I repeat, it's not that important to us. I feel like we could do fine without one. Because last year we ain't have an edge, and we were still getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like Jay was saying in that comment, pressure by committee, also pressure from the inside. I agree.
At number 11, who do you want, though?
Well, like I've been saying, I want, if he's there, Rashawn Slater. If he's not there, Jalen Waddle, who's like my favorite play in the draft, or an edge at 11.
But if we get an edge at 11, would you consider that reaching?
I would. I'll be honest. I would. But, and you know what? Like I said, AVT, I'm starting to come around on the AVT train. And once again, tomorrow on the Young Guns podcast, we'll be having Justin Pinnock back on. and AVT is going to be one of the main topics we talk about. So I'll see how it goes, because I'm not completely on board with AVT at 11 yet, but I could definitely be convinced.
And also, for me at number 11, I really like to have a Michael Parsons, because he's that perfect second linebacker we need for this team. Because I feel like he'll make an impact right away.
Michael Parsons?
Yeah.
So you're saying Michael Parsons, Blake Martinez is going to terrorize the league?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What does Michael Parsons bring to the defense that you like the most?
He brings that leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why we probably wouldn't get him because of the rumors and all that, that's probably the reason why we wouldn't do it. If Jalen Waddle was at number 11, I'll take it. So Jones can have no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay said it earlier. We do need an offensive line to protect Jones also.
Yo, shout out. I agree with you, but real quick, shout out to Zion for the $5 super chat for the fam. I really appreciate it, man. Once again, guys, the big stream tomorrow will be over there. He said 8:25, and then hop on over back to mine at 9:30 for Young Guns. Yeah,
don't
go
worry.
On, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there for both.
Yeah, you were saying with the O-line and Jones, you don't want to give him an excuse?
No.
So what's your outlook on Jones?
I just hope he proves he's the quarterback by pocket awareness and decision making. Them two has to be fixed. If not, we're not going to go that far. And what you think?
What I think about getting
Daniel
offensive
Jones?
line?
Yeah, Daniel Jones this coming up season.
Oh, Daniel Jones in this upcoming season, man, I don't necessarily think that he has to prove it, because I would love to just have him on his entire rookie deal and give him the entire rookie deal to try and get something going. But the reality of the NFL is that he's going to have to do something in his third year. It's just the way the league is now. So that's where we're sitting at. He's going to have to do something both on and off the stat sheet. So we can't just rely on him being, improved off the stat sheet, which he was massively improved when it came to things like decision-making last year down the second half of the season, and stuff like that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He needs to now put up the touchdowns and put up the yards to go with it. It's just the name of the game now.
Because, look, he has the playmakers for it. He has no excuse. But I think we need an offensive line still, because without an offensive line, we're not going to go far.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, as Giants fans, we always want that one position, but I'd rather build the whole team than worry about one position.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way I personally see it.
Okay. So who do you want at 11? You were saying Parsons and who else?
If not Jalen Waddle.
So where are you taking an offensive line, since you were just saying we need to finish that line?
I would go like Ben Cleveland in the third round. I think he'll be a really good backup with us when it comes to offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the fourth or fifth. Well, just fourth round. I think Tamari and Terry gonna be there.
You're looking kind of mid-late rounds for these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if I feel too comfortable with that, just personally. And Miz, by the way, man, hey, no need to apologize for getting fired up. Getting fired up is why you're a legend on the call-in show, Miz.
Wait. Oh yeah. YouTube may not like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how they go. Yeah, go ahead.
YouTube, they might just RK you for that. They gonna give you the RKO.
But Joseph, as of right now, no other ones, because I got 3 other guys lined up after Jaden here.
What you think of the press conference?
I just love the trolling. Going back to what me and Miz were saying when he called in, Gettleman trolling is always going to be entertaining. I wouldn't say Abrams was trolling, but I just loved his demeanor the entire time.
And also, I've seen about like 10 to 15 minutes of it. I like what Dave Gettleman said. We're going to build this team the correct way. That's something how a GM should think. But we always hear GM say it.
Another quote, I think this was on Kyle Rudolph, that I absolutely love. He said, "We're the New York Giants. We operate with class," or something along those lines for the Rudolph contract and his surgery. Love that.
I didn't catch that part.
It was basically a question on because he had foot surgery, and I think the the question was along the lines of how come we didn't retract our contract, and he's like, because we got class. We're the Giants.
Wait, who's the dude on the left again? I'll be forgetting names.
Who?
Who's with Dave Gettleman earlier in the
Kevin
press
Abrams.
conference? Yeah, he looked like he did not want to be there. He was like, "Take me home, please."
Mm-hmm.
If Giants have any games, would you like to attend?
I would like to. I'm definitely going to be exploring it. I mean, I have a surprise in the works for you guys. So if that surprise kind of comes true, I might not be going to a Giants game. I don't know. I have to see. I really do want to go to one. And I'm going to try and get back to the Knicks games as well in the fall. But speaking of which, the Knicks, they're still doing the virtual fans thing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be a virtual fan in like the rest of our home games for the rest of the regular season. So that's going to be pretty cool. Being there at MSG, but I definitely am going to look to get back at MetLife this year.
Also, Logan do like it, and Nikola Jokic, he do.
Mm-hmm. You got any last thoughts before I pop you out, though?
Think he looks like Darius Slayton and Logan Ryan.
We got Jokic, Darius Slayton. Don't forget Nate is Jason Garrett Jr. or Andy Dalton Jr.
Yeah, they all triplets anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because, listen, that was actually me editing everything. I got more coming up soon.
You the ultimate comedian, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm the champ for a reason.
Does the champ have the last thoughts?
Oh, yeah. The next week on Tuesday, I'll be going live from like between 5 or 6.
Remind me so I could tune in.
Yeah, because on Tuesday, it was like Big Pat was on there like commenting. It was Vise. It was Benny. It was Zeke. And also Wolves. Shout out to y'all for earlier. And next week on Tuesday between 5 and 6, I'll probably be live. And y'all could tune in if y'all want. I'm not forcing y'all, but it's if y'all want to.
For sure. I mean, once again, send me the link that day, and then I'll see if I can tune in, man. But thank you for calling in, bro.
Champ is here.
Peace. And I see people talking about if they have the mandatory vaccine cards, they might not want to go. The 5G shot, man. I got the 5G shot. And gave me a massive headache, I'll tell you that. Shout out to Rick who called in. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Hub. I appreciate you, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Okay. I got a little list of things.
Rick, I gotta say real quick, I feel like I've seen you in real life somewhere, but I don't know. You don't live in NYC, do you?
I do not.
Okay, so then I didn't.
I live across the country, so definitely not.
But
okay, first thing I want to say. So I woke up this morning, watched that first take segment, was mad as hell for like a minute. But then I realized I got you guys. I got the Hub, I got the Entertainer, who, by the way, I think put me on timeout on a live stream, but we'll talk about that later. No, I'm just kidding. I was doing some dumb stuff. He had every right to. Bad Dog. Yeah. There's like, we have the best fans. So like,
we have the biggest sports community on YouTube.
It's just amazing. Like,
yeah,
you're truly amazing at what you do. So like,
hey, thank you. I appreciate
was mad. Of course, I was mad as hell because it's stupid. I know you said you didn't watch it, but like, everyone's like, oh yeah, Max is an intellectual, but like, who's stupid. Like did you know what he said, right?
I just remember seeing a screenshot of him saying we need to take a quarterback or something.
He said if Trey Lance falls to 9, we should trade up to get him. And you know what? I'd rather not waste my breath talking about why that.
He said that in all seriousness?
Yes. He said he wasn't kidding. And then he was saying when Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky were going in on him.
Yo, sometimes I swear Max is a fake Giants fan, bro.
Molly Curum is a better Giants fan.
And Molly's already a terrible Giants fan.
Yes. But then he was saying like, I only like Daniel Jones. I don't love him. I'm like, whatever that means. That's a stupid thing to say. But anyway, just wanted to say like, you kept my head level the rest of the day because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to real Giants fans later, so we're all good.
Thank you.
Second thing. I'm really sad to see Wayne Gallman go. But I'm excited.
Did he sign with them? I thought he was just meeting with the 49ers.
He's probably going to leave.
Yeah,
but the 49ers,
right.
That's a great place. They oh my God, remember, I think it was not last year, the year before. All those running backs were crazy.
They had like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. So I hope that he gets his money. Like, as sad, if he goes, I'm assuming he'll go. As sad as that'll be, I'd be happy for him if he goes to the 49ers and, tears it up, because he's a good dude. And he stepped in, which leads me to my next point. I really want to trade down because I think what Joe Judge did this year with the players at his disposal, to me, I would rather have a basket of draft picks that he could make like a solid team with than like one star. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I know like I think Waddle's amazing. And I wouldn't be mad at 11, but I would be so excited if like everyone's saying like next year's draft class is gonna be amazing. So if we get like possibly a first round pick next year, that would be great. And so I trust Joe Judge to develop like a group of players. I don't know how you feel about that, but like it's not necessarily about like I don't know what to do at 11. I just have so much faith in Joe Judge to maximize like the extra draft picks, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like we straight up have the best coach in our division. He's
that confident? Actually, you know what? You said in our division. So, yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, Ron Rivera is the only competition, but, I mean, I love Joe Judge, too.
Yeah, I think Ron Rivera – I respect Ron Rivera for sure. But, like, I don't know. I just think Joe Judge is, like, on a whole nother wave just based on his age. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's my take. Like, I would like to trade down. And if we did trade down, I think I like Aziz. I like Aziz.
You like Aziz?
Yeah.
Aziz is that dude, man.
And then I feel like I haven't heard people talk about Seth Williams a lot. Like the Giants community. What are your thoughts on Seth Williams?
Out of Auburn.
Yeah.
If I remember, outside guy, right? Mm-hmm. I haven't exactly scouted him, but I looked at him.
He's like 6'3", I think. Like
yeah, he's big. He's not big, but he's good size, right? He is somebody I think that would be a good wide receiver to pick up in the 3rd or 4th, maybe 4th more so than 3rd. I don't know, but not necessarily somebody I'm looking at in the 2nd.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I definitely think that's fair because I know that Giants, like myself included, like we like Scary Terry. That's the real. That's gonna be if he's a Giant. He's
the real Scary Terry.
That's gonna be no disrespect to Terry. I like Terry McLaurin a lot. I have a lot of respect for him, but like. Yeah, it's all jokes, but yeah, I think you were saying you'd like to go wide receiver in the 2nd round. I'm okay. Like, I think that'd be cool. I'm okay with that, but I really would like O-line to be either 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to wait like past 2 to grab a guard or anything.
So then that means you really want an edge also 1 or 2.
Yeah, because I just think that, like...
And by the way, guys, this is coming from a Cardinals fan. Not a Giants fan out here.
Dang. Hey, I mean, I can feel that way. I don't know if it's justified, but... like what that guy just said, but... what was I going to say? Oh, I think if you're looking at next year, I think the offense... Like, literally the offense can't get any worse, right? Like, statistically... I guess it could.
Hold up. Nick's Talk just dropped something in the chat. Is this breaking news live on stream? Is this breaking news live on stream? I'm gonna go to Twitter and I'm gonna look up the name. McCourty. All I'm gonna do.
No way. For real?
All I'm going to do. I see nothing as of right now on the Giants signing McCourty. I'm going to repeat. I'm saying nothing. I'm seeing nothing as of right now that the Giants signed Jason McCourty, guys, so don't get your hopes up. Got my hopes up first. Well, I actually didn't get my hopes up. Got my radar up for a second because I don't necessarily want McCourty, but it would have been, live news.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Like, if it broke. But, like, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, not a make or break thing. But what was I saying? Okay, so this is what I was saying. Like, statistically, we can't get much worse with the offense, right?
I mean, yeah, we were 31st in the league, so.
I say another reason I like edge is, like, kind of like going all in on the defense. Like it was already like great.
It was number 9 ending the year. I think as of right now, we really could be top 5.
Yeah, and I think with an edge, we definitely get there, and that would we would win the NFC East. We would be the best all around team, in my opinion. I don't know why people are so high. No disrespect for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Why are people acting like Washington, like, oh, they're the go-to? I mean, that defense is great, but like we own them. The Giants, we own them.
Yeah.
And so I think we could like go all in on the defense. Mekhi Parsons, nah. I'm
Speaking of defense, by the way, so Jason Solo in the chat saying he'd take Phillips or Parsons in the first.
Man, yo, I went to UCLA like while Jalen was like a student there, and like I would see him around campus. That guy's crazy. That guy is huge, and he's honestly a good dude. But I think that the injury history is it's scary. It sucks. It really sucks for him. And
Logan said it as a joke, but it's really the perfect description, the Sterling Shepard syndrome. And once again, it's kind of in a joking manner, so I laugh a little bit, but I feel like people forget Sterling Shepard's concussions got so serious at one point that he almost retired as a Giant. Yeah. Jalen Phillips literally did retire at college football and then came back.
Yeah. So I'm just wishing him well. I don't know about 11, but like I said, I trust Joe Judge, but I also trust him enough to not take him, if that makes sense.
So do you trust Joe Judge enough that no matter who he goes at 11, you're on board with it?
Yeah. Like, okay. I'm going to have my own reaction to it, but like
in the back of your mind later on in the day, you're going to be like, I trust him.
Prevail, I'll be like, everything, you know how they say like everything happens for a reason? Well, like Joe Judge is like all knowing with football. So but before you kick me off, I have one more question. Mm-hmm. What are your top 3 out of division games that you're looking forward to next season?
You had to say out of division, because if you were saying top 3 without, like, I'll give you my top 3 within the division, right?
Okay.
That's not saying only within the division, just overall. My top 3 games overall.
Okay.
At Eagles at us, at Cowboys. Those are my top 3 games.
That's
right?
That's your top. I respect
right?
it.
So top 3 outside the division. Let me pull up our schedule actually.
All right. While you're
Tampa
doing
Bay. Tampa Bay is one because we have the NFC South on our schedule.
That's gonna be tough because it's at Tampa Bay,
so and
there's gonna be fans there for sure, regardless of COVID.
Okay, Tampa Bay Chargers, because Justin Herbert was supposed to be a Giant and he never came to us.
Yes.
And I gotta find my third one. Let me find the Giants 2021.
I'm hoping that you don't steal my list because you're 2 for 3 on my list because I have one more.
All right, let me see.
Okay.
It's a really interesting list. I want to go Miami. It's week 17. I'll go Miami.
Hey, great minds think alike, bro. That was literally my list.
That's literally your list?
That's literally my list.
Yeah, so yeah, man, it's going to be Tampa Bay, Chargers, and Miami. And funnily enough, all 3 of those games are away games for us.
Yeah. I think, okay, if I'm going to throw in one more before I hop off, I'm excited to see I think Panthers will be cool if Sam Darnold starts. You know what I mean? Just because, like, the last time we played them, like, the Jamal Adams just ripped. Remember that? That was that game where Jamal Adams just, like...
Last time we played the Jets?
Yeah, last time we played the Jets. So, I think...
And last time we played the Panthers, they got a run on 5th down.
Yo, and Graham Gano.
And Graham Gano is now on our team, so it's okay.
Yeah,
it's all done.
Yeah. But, hey, man, I really appreciate you having me on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing your thing. And, yeah, man. You take it easy.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it, bro. Like excited for draft night, just like you, man. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Next up, we got CJ Talk Sports. He's always in the streams and always one of the dudes that consistently on Twitter for me. What up, CJ? How you doing, man?
What's going on, buddy? Thanks for finally having me on the show.
Hey, man, you finally called in. What you talking about?
Bro, I have been waiting for weeks. I'm like, when is Hub going to drop the link? When is Hub going to drop the link? Dude, I want to be on your show, man.
But CJ, I drop the link every Tuesday night in the chat.
Not for what I remember last Tuesday.
Come on now, CJ. I even got my mods that do it for me, though.
Okay,
so
if you did, I might have missed it. Probably watching a Knicks game or some other basketball game.
Knicks fan too. By the way, I gotta love it.
Wins, baby.
On the way to 10. Wins. On the way to 10, bro. On the way
to 10, maybe. Atlanta, you owe us something. You have something that we want, and we're taking that for a playoff spot.
Really? We got Atlanta tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
At what time?
I believe 8.
At 8. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm gonna be on.
Oh, that's right. You and KB got the podcast tomorrow.
No, I got the podcast at 9:30, but I'm also gonna be on Zion and Zenith's little stream beforehand. But I do have the virtual spot now for Knicks games for the rest of the season, so it's gonna be fun whenever I can use it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be jumping in back and forth between that game and you said you're going to be on what, Zion's channel tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I'll probably be flipping back and forth between being on his stream and watching the Knicks game, assuming all things go well.
But
now, dude, I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, damn.
After the run of free agency, I had my eyes glued to Rashawn Slater at 11. And then watching your stream like a week later after free agency, you had pegged to me that Rashawn Slater may not be there at 11. And I'm like, where do you think he's going to go? And then, of course, Darnold gets traded to Carolina. And I'm like, well, they still have other holes in major places. Like, they could go,
they could go Parsons.
Yeah, they could go Parsons. If Pitts is still there, I still think they could use another wide receiver. But then I had to do my homework, and I checked out what Carolina did in free agency. I'm like, damn. They picked up Denzel Perriman, so they probably don't need a linebacker. Obviously, their receiving core is ridiculous. They basically spent all of their draft picks last year on defense. They could still go another corner, but seeing that they tagged Taylor Morton, and I forgot who was their left tackle last year, but they let him go. And I'm like, dang, Hub's got a point. Slater's
listen, I want Slater to go there at 11. I want Slater to beat her at 11. Carolina is the biggest threat.
I do too, and I feel like best case scenario was Slater, or worst case scenario. Best case scenario, we draft him at 11. He competes over with Solder and Pear for the right tackle position, but we probably ultimately move him to guard, whether it be left or right guard, opposite of. I'm assuming Pear is going to start.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I completely forgot that Nate Solder is still on the team.
Like, I'm like, but I'm going to be a little controversial about the draft. Last year, I was also, as a matter of fact, I was hoping that the Giants would move back from like 4 to 9. Mm-hmm. I think Arizona was picking at that spot last year. This year, I'm going to be honest, I would be okay with a trade down.
Who are you looking at if we trade down?
Probably Aziz or ABT.
And possibly what team?
For those two players, probably New England. Probably New England, because I feel like if we move back all the way to 20, I was watching Entertainer's live stream earlier today, and while I wouldn't mind moving back to 20, especially if we get another first round pick, but I don't know. I just think all of our big needs at the players that we're targeting will probably be gone by then.
At 20? Yep.
Yeah, at 20. Like, I don't see Aziz falling there. I don't see Michael Parsons maybe.
That's where I disagree a bit. And first, I'm gonna get the super chat though. Shout out to Zion again for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it, bro. He says, "Bro, that love fan, Miz channel, go Knicks." As a Heat fan, he's the second Heat fan on my channel that says go Knicks, because the first one I think is Joseph. I think Joseph is a Knicks fan. I mean, a Heat fan, and he's been saying
I kind of low key want to take Miami in the first round if it's a 4 or 5 matchup.
Why? Any specific reason?
I don't know. It's just the fact that we've competed and pretty much beaten almost all of the elite teams we played this year, minus Brooklyn. And so I just feel like Miami would be a very interesting matchup. They're kind of built just like us.
But Miami hasn't been great this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Miami, obviously, outside of tonight, the Knicks are great at defending the 3. We're pretty good on the interior. I like the matchup between Noel and Mitch against Bam Adebayo. And plus, I feel like our perimeter guys can match up against,
So you just want Miami for a good matchup then?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, any matchup 4 through 5. I don't think I ever had this conversation with you or the chat, but growing up as a basketball fan, I was actually a Celtics fan because, just because of my pure hatred of LeBron at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, like middle school me, high school me could not stand LeBron back then. Now having more appreciation of him, I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of suitable rooting for the Knicks and the Celtics. So it kind of does my heart. Unfortunately, terrible thing seeing how the Knicks are overachieving and the Celtics are completely underachieving.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the draft, the reason why I'm not entirely sold on moving back is because I feel like we pretty much know. I'm going to disagree. 4 quarterbacks are definitely going to go within the first 8 picks. Who outside of Lawrence and Wilson, we don't know. We're not entirely sure. So I just feel like there's going to be so many rich players sitting for us at 11 that unless the right package come up, I'm still kind of hesitant on moving down. While I wouldn't be against it, especially if the Giants want to go pass rusher, I'm down with it. But again, it really all depends on who's on the board.
It really depends. Like you said, if we go back to toy and we lose out on a lot of potential players, I want to do it. And I did the video a couple weeks ago about potential trading back spots for the Giants, and it was really just 2 teams. It was the Patriots at 15 and Chicago at 20. Obviously, a lot of people prefer Patriots at 15 because of the fact that if you go back to 20 in Chicago, you risk a lot of players being off the board that you don't want to be off the board. Now, you said you think Parsons could be there, but not Aziz. I kind of have the opposite outlook. I think Parsons won't be there, but Aziz might be there. Yeah.
And that's another thing. And I wish Nate was in this chat, but I have a draft question. Obviously, we know this edge rusher draft. It's not as cracked up as we had hoped. Mm-hmm. I mean, we finally plugged in big holes on this team for so long. We got our number 1 receiver. The O-line, it's improving, but it's still awfully young. The 1 year where I feel like the Giants are ready to go pass rusher, it's not really there. So, having said all that, I want to give you a list of some of the pass rushers that have slipped through us over the last number of years, and I want you to compare them to who's my number 1 edge rusher. All right, easy one. Phillips, taking injuries out of it. Phillips or Bradley Chubb.
You're saying compare Phillips and Bradley Chubb then?
Yeah.
Who's the better one?
Yeah, taking injuries out of it.
As of today, of April 20th, 2021.
And just comparing to what they were coming out of college.
Okay, then that's kind of different. I don't know. I think I still might go Bradley Chubb.
Because that's the key guy that I was thinking about when comparing these pass rushers. Obviously, there's not a Bosa, a Chase, either Bosa brothers or a Myles Garrett in this draft. But then I was thinking about Bradley Chubb or Aziz. Taking injuries out of it, I might go with Aziz.
Really? Okay.
Just because of fit. And I feel like he has more upside than Bradley Chubb. I think Chubb has the better floor, but Aziz has the better upside. He's better in coverage, electrifying off the edge, but like I said, unfortunately, injuries is probably what's going to keep him out of the top 20 or top 15 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And couple more. I asked Nate this question, and now I feel like I should ask you. What do you feel like is more likely to happen in this year's draft? Wyatt Davis falls in the second round, and he's our starting right guard, assuming we draft him, or Phillips drops into the second round.
Wyatt Davis is definitely more possible, I think, just because after the Miami Pro Day, I think a lot of teams definitely move Phillips up their board. And what's the other question?
And last one again. I don't know why I honestly waste my time watching ESPN.
Seems like a lot of people caught that segment.
It's just like you know what really irks me so much about most of mainstream media, especially with ESPN. They do the double standards more so than any other media company. Like I was just going back to last year, I was rewatching old videos of everyone just bashing the Daniel Jones pick and just ripping. And by the way, not to toot my own horn, but I was actually one of the few people that actually really liked the pick and was rooting for the pick. Having said all that, what really irks me, excuse my language, what really pisses me off most about the media is that when we improve so much in key areas, they just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we actually show major improvement, they never say anything.
At this point, CJ, I'm really not surprised. It's become like a given that I guess they just don't like New York sports at this point. I don't know why, but that's just what it is.
Like it's just again going back to 2 years ago in Daniel Jones' rookie year. I was watching First Take, and Stephen A was basically proclaiming that we never said that Daniel Jones couldn't play. We just said that he shouldn't have been picked in front of Haskins. So I'm like, bro, you co-signed that he was the worst pick in the first round. Now that he looks like he could play, you want to backtrack off? And I'm like, just stay in one lane.
CJ, you're holding them too accountable, bro. I don't know why you're still holding them accountable.
I'm not like, what? Excuse my stutter, but it's exactly why I don't waste my time as much with mainstream media, and why I like to follow guys like you and KB, obviously Entertainer, Bad Dog, Fireside Guys. That's why I like just getting most of my info from you guys, and seeing what you guys do, knowing the fact that you guys have so much more knowledge than any of these other peanut heads. Just like, I can do this. Why can't I do this? Like, I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the Giants. Obviously, I know more than you. Obviously, I know more than these guys. So why not just kind of create my own channel? Shout out to guys. Shout out to content creators like you guys. And just I'm going to be trying to come back here more.
Hey man, yo, we're gonna check you out then. Drop your link in the chat if you can.
Yeah, I will. But in case, because I'm kind of brand new at this, the link to my sports channel is in my pin comment on my Twitter page. So it's just at CJ Talk Sports, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Hey, well, CJ, thank you for calling in, man. Finally glad to have you on. Keep your eye out for the link in the chat. It's always. I promise you,
yes.
It's always there.
Another thing, we're both wrestling fans, man. How did you ignore this? You got it too sweet, me brother. Come on, man. Damn.
Camera. Only wrestling fans know about that one, yo. Thank you, CJ. Have a good one.
All right, good night.
And before I get the last guest on, which is gonna be Zeke, shout out to Hot Nickels and shout out to Zion for another $2 super chat. He says, CJ, you amazing. Zeke, how you doing, man? Kind of called in late, bro. What's up?
Yo, can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you. At first, I thought I lost you there for a second.
All right. Do you think that trading down is a bad thing or no?
No, trading down is completely a good, maybe even great option.
I think that if we're trading down, it has to be for edge rusher. To be honest, man. Yeah, I like that dude from Georgia. I know how to say his name.
Aziz.
Yeah, I like to have the guy, man. But if we stay at 11, I think it might be off the line or maybe a playmaker like Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith. Or maybe Parsons. Maybe we could get Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me personally, I feel like having Jalen Phillips will be a little too risky because of the concussions. I would love to get him in the second round if he's available. If we're still,
But you think you're not sure if you want to take that big risk at 11?
What you mean, like having him at 11? No.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, because one more concussion, he has to retire, man. But let's say if we're going Waddle at 11, or maybe like an offensive line or anything, a second round, having Jalen Phillips, this defense will be nice, man. I feel like he fits the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
What you think? He fits the scheme really good.
I'd say Jalen Phillips is one of the best pure pass rushers in the class. I don't know if he necessarily fits the scheme, but the thing is, unlike Pay, I feel like he could fit the scheme better than Pay, if that makes sense. I feel like his athleticism could allow him to fit the scheme better than Pay.
Yeah, I think, it's not just he fits the scheme. It's just that he's a good pass rusher. What we need, basically. But I wouldn't mind getting linebacker and another receiver at 11. Have a number 2. Because I think Shepard might be released, right?
Released? You think
Or
we're
like
gonna
not, or
release
like whatever. Like he might not be a giant. Maybe
what,
like in
this
2
season,
more
next
years.
season? Okay,
Yeah.
2 more. Yeah, okay. In 2 years, yeah, I could see that happening. I wouldn't say it'd be a release. It just might be they let his contract expire, basically.
Yeah. Maybe like in third round. If we don't go offensive line, we should go maybe like Ben Cleveland, a good guard that could be in the left.
So who would you go the first 2 then?
The first 2 rounds, I would like to go wide receiver in the first round. Second round, linebacker, maybe Nick Bolton. I like
So
Nick Bolton.
edge linebacker or middle linebacker?
Middle linebacker.
I don't know if Nick Bolton's making it to the second, but I had to say, let me not say that. I could see him dropping, but he should be somebody that goes in the first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised him being over Jabril Cox. If we get Jabril Cox, I say that's a bad pick.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just that he's a good coverage linebacker. Can't lie about that. But I don't think that's what we basically need. I don't think we do need a coverage linebacker because he only played he only played one.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking for, though. A guy next to Blake that can cover. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Because I think that Blake Martinez could play in the as a run stopper. But Jabril Cox could be a good run stopper. But I like Tay Crowder as a backup too, though, because he is going to be our backup, right? Basically.
Tay Crowder, as of right now, if we don't do anything else to do the linebacker, he's going to be a rotational starter.
Right. I don't mind him being a rotation starter. He's a really good player. Even though for a 5th round player, yeah. Before my last thoughts before I leave.
Yeah, Tay Crowder was 7th though. Yeah, but go ahead.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Zeke's Giants Media.
Oh, you started one up?
Yeah. I don't know how to send a link, but Zeke Giants. Huh?
You could just copy and paste it. If you can't, then it's literally just, I think the mods could try and copy and paste it, but yeah. You could also just say it.
What you call it? Big Pat is supporting me in my channel. because I usually support him a lot. And I support Jaden the champ. Make sure you follow him.
Look at
Subscribe
that.
to him too.
Joseph already got your link in the chat.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. You're.
And before I end the stream out, guys, one thing I gotta do: the final mock draft 3.0 is out on the channel for all members. Members, y'all have had access to it since 1 o'clock last night. It's gonna be members only until Thursday. I want to release it for everybody else on Thursday. It's probably gonna be Thursday afternoon. Gonna be exactly 1 week before the draft. If I get cold feet and I start to believe the trade rumors, I might release it on Wednesday, but as of right now, it's Thursday. So that is out. Be prepared to see that on Thursday. If you have not already, go and check out Mock Draft 1.0 for the Giants. 6 rounds where I took Devontae Smith in the first round. I made that back in January. And check out 2.0, which I made back in late February, early March. Also 6 rounds where I took Jalen Waddle. And then this one is completely different from those two, but still 6 rounds. Each one, I kind of took it up a level in terms of what I included in the editing. You guys will see what I mean, and you guys have been a fan of it so far. Before I go, I'm going to play the promo for it, which is low-key kind of trolling y'all. It's low-key kind of trolling y'all. I'm going to play that promo real quick, and then we're going to end it as soon as that promo finishes. But here it is. With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher, Miami.
Purchase your tracks today.
Yeah, it's up to you guys to decide if it's trolling or not, man. But you'll find out on Thursday. Shout out to everybody for being in here. Love you guys. Have a good one. I'm out.